Welcome to opening Illustrator for the first time and setting up your Illustrator workplace. Illustrator appears to be very complicated, and it is somewhat complicated, but there's some stuff you'll use all the time and some stuff that you will never use. So what we're going to talk about in this video is setting up your page size, the width and height, what color mode you want to work in, which is important, and you'll see why. What panels do you want to leave open all of the time, and how to save which panels open whenever you open a new file. How to see your rulers all the time so you can see the width and height of everything that you're working on. And it's important to understand also what is the Illustrator Art Board. So let's go into Adobe Illustrator. Let me minimize this. When you open Illustrator for the first time, you're going to see something that looks like this. You can, by default, you can just click letter size, postcard size, web page size, whatever that means, okay? Or you can come over here and just click File, New, which is kind of create new, or go to Open. But if you come down here to Create New, then you're going to get these options. And over here, you can set the width and the height, the orientation, portrait or landscape, and you can work in any mode you want. Inches, points, pixels, millimeters, whatever you want to do, but you can just set your default width and height there, or go with these custom goodies over there. I'm just going to close this, and for our purposes today, I'm just going to go with letter size. Also notice that it saves all the old stuff that you've worked on in the past, so you can scroll down and open old projects that you've worked on. So I'm just going to go to letter size for now. And what you're looking at now is this white area is called the Art Board. And if you have text, anything that you have in this white block, if you go to print or put this on a website, only the stuff in the whiteness is going to show up. And I'll show you in a minute. I call this gray area the junkyard. So you may have images or shapes or patterns that you don't use. You can put them over here in the gray area, save the file, print it out, and nothing in the gray area is going to show up. Over here on the right hand side, we have these default panels. The properties panel, the layers panel, the libraries panel. And let's do something right away. All of the panels that you see up here are draggable. The properties panel, and notice this says essentials up here. These are different groups of panels, and you can click on the different groups and they'll give you different options for what shows up there. But let's go back to essentials. Now, I'm going to use the properties panel. The properties panel, I find it to be handy. The libraries panel, you might use it, you might not, but notice these panels are draggable. You can make them taller and smaller. I'm going to get rid of the libraries panel. You may like it. It will save the colors that you most frequently use and the fonts you most frequently use, and I think images will show up in there also. I'm going to close that by clicking the little X. I use the layers panel quite frequently, and notice that now that I've gotten rid of all the essential panels, I have more space. Something that I use frequently, all the panels that I just closed. If you go to the very top of Illustrator, you'll see the window drop down menu, and all of the panels are there. I use the type panel, and it's way down here at the bottom. You have to go to character. They also have paragraph, but I'll go to the to the character panel. I can choose my fonts in there. I use the layers panel quite frequently. It's already open. And what I do is I drag these panels out, and then you can make your what they call your own workspace by coming up here to Essentials. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to go Window Stroke. I use the stroke panel quite often. What else do I use? Okay, that's enough for now. You know how to get these panels open. So now I can come up here to Essentials and I can go to New Workspace, and I'm going to call this Bill the Geek's Place. Okie dokie. I click OK, and now it says Bill the Geek's Workplace up here. And if I close all these panels by clicking their little X's and come up here to Build the Geek's Place, reset, Build the Geek's Place, all my panels come back. And I've worked in Illustrator where all of a sudden you have like 12 panels open and they're all over the place. If you double click the layer name, they collapse. And if you double click the panel name again, they open up. You can drag them all around. So that's how you control your panels. That is where the panels are. One thing that I find to be handy is I've got this white area, but I mean it might be 2 inches by 3 inches, or it might be 10 foot by 89 feet. Who knows? So if I go to the View drop-down menu, you'll see rulers right down here, and I can go to Show Rulers. And now what we're looking at, I can see rulers up here at the top. I can see rulers on the side. And right now I believe I'm working in pixels, but if I hover in the ruler, I can right-click or control-click on the Mac and go to inches. And so you can see that this is 8.5 by 11 inches. I like that. Or if I'm doing web work, I might right click again and go back to pixels. I'm going to go to inches, though I really prefer to work in pixels, but I'll go to inches. So I know that this is 8.5 by 11. Notice up here at the top it says CMYK. CMYK. That is a color setting that you would use if you were going to be printing professionally. If you're printing like brochures, you're printing posters, you're printing those little maybe menus for a restaurant, you're going to take that to a professional printer, and most likely they're going to want that in CMYK: cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And when you bring those combinations of colors together, you get 16.7 million colors, which is the number of colors that the human eye can see. So the printer, they print out film. They print out one piece of film that is in cyan, one piece of film is in magenta, one piece of film is in yellow, one piece of film is in black, and when you overlay those one over the other, you get full color. Now, if you're working for web work or anything that's going to be on a monitor, then that's when you come down here, you go up to the File menu, you go to Color Mode, and you can choose CMYK or RGB. RGB, red, green, and blue. Those colors coming together give you 16.7 million colors, the number of colors that the eye can see. So if you're doing web work, you're going to click RGB, and now we see the changes up here. So just for the heck of it, I'm going to open my Swatch box. I having colors, and here's my Swatch box. And I'm not going to explain this, but I'm just going to make like a yellow circle for right now. And I come in here, and there you go. I've got my yellow circle. So if I were to print right now, the yellow circle would print. But if I duplicate the circle and put this one over there and I duplicate it again, okie dokie. So if I put this one over here, only the circles in the white will print. This other thing is not going to print. So over here on the side, I could have images, text. I call it the junkyard. Only the stuff in the white, which is known as the art board, is going to print. So there you have it. We've set up our own workplace. We have our rulers open. We have our panels that we want to use open. And we made a new document. We know how to set the width and height of a brand new document when we go File, Open, and find ourselves in Illustrator for the first time.